Welcome to the Academy, a series focused on the basics of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Naming your character in Star Wars: The Old Republic is one of the first steps in creating your character, and it's the name that all other players will see you by as you play that character. In this video, we'll be going over a ton of tips and tricks for naming your characters in Star Wars: The Old Republic, including a name generator to help you create some unique names, as well as what to do if you get the dreaded name unavailable. Please choose another error. Let's start off with the rules of naming your character. So first off, you need to choose a character name that no one else on your server has already chosen. It must be unique on your server. To make it easier to pick a unique name, you can use up to one space, so like a first and a last name, one dash, and up to 2 apostrophes in your character name. With those included, you can have up to 21 characters, so letters or spaces or dashes or apostrophes in your name, so a total of 21 max. And lastly, if the error that pops up is invalid name, without any other information attached to it. If invalid name pops up, that means there's something in that name that has been on the banned list of words for names. So for example, it could be something offensive, something religious, something political, but most likely it's because it's something that already exists in Star Wars. For example, if you try to name your character Han space anything, that name will show up as invalid. Or if you try to type in Obi-Wan, that will show up as invalid. Or if you try to use the word Darth in your character name, that will be invalid because it's a title, not a name. Yes, sadly, Darths Swtorista is banned. The number one most common error that players get when creating a character name is name unavailable. Please choose another. And this literally means what it says. It means someone else on the server has already chosen that exact name. So now we're going to go through some tips to help you get around that. First off, try adding a last name with a space, an alternate spelling, some apostrophes or a dash, or some alt code symbols. I usually recommend skipping the alt codes and instead trying to go for a unique name that has the dashes, the space, or the apostrophes, but a lot of people like the alt codes for the cleanness of the names. However, it does make them hard to type. If you do want to use alt codes though, here is a chart, and if you take a look at the link in the description of this video, you can copy and paste the valid alt codes that are actually accepted in the SWTOR name creator, because not all of them are automatically accepted. If you want to see some options like that with dashes, apostrophes, and alt characters, I've created an alternate name generator where you can type in the name that you wanted to use and it will produce for you about 50 different versions of that name, so you can try and find one that isn't already taken but is very similar. For example, I really wanted the name Eclipse. It was taken, so I type in Eclipse in the name generator and here's what pops out. You'll notice in-game there is a name generator, but it does not work very well and it often gives unavailable names. The good news is I have custom built a really intense name generator, actually 18 different name generators, one for every species, as well as some bonus ones that you can use at swtorista.com/names. As a bonus, if the name generator produces something that's already taken, you can click the plus symbol beside the name and it will generate you some alternative spellings as well. So your character name is mostly permanent. You can change it, but it's quite expensive. There is an item called Rename Character Name that you can either pay cartel coins for, or you can sometimes find it on the GTN. It does cost 1,000 cartel coins from the cartel market, so I recommend if you have a really low level character and you don't like the name, just delete them and start over. But if you have a high level or beloved character, you absolutely can change their name, as long as you get that item. Now let's talk about lore and naming your character in a lore appropriate way, one of my favorite things when it comes to creating characters. In Star Wars: The Old Republic, only one species really has any canon or lore naming rules, and that's the Chiss, and that only applies if you want to follow the cultural rules of the Chiss. You can totally just make a character that is completely outside the norm. Maybe they were adopted, maybe they picked their own name. When you go to create your character, the box where you type in your name doesn't care at all whether you're picking a name that's lore appropriate or whether you're following the name conventions for that species. So feel free to be very creative, go wild. You can give your character a real name, a first and last name, a nickname, a code name, a call sign, or even a Darth name. Just make sure to leave out the Darth part or the Jedi or the Master part out of the name, as you'll get a title later on if you're playing a Sith or a Jedi. This goes for titles like Knight or General as well, and don't forget, don't try to name your character after an existing Star Wars character, it does not work. I hope you enjoyed this little video going over naming your character in Star Wars The Old Republic, and once again, I have built 18 different name generators to help you create a character name, and that includes a name generator for Mirialans, Rattataki, Sith Purebloods, humans, Zabraks, Cyborgs, Twi'leks, Miraluka, Chiss, Cathar, Togruta, Nautolan, Darth names, and that alternative name generator if the name you wanted is already taken. If you want to show your support for these awesome fan-led projects like the name generator, please visit Swtorista.com/support. And if you want more videos like this name guide to show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. As always, may the Force and the valid names be with you.